Circuit with resistance and inductance in series. This is a AC circuit containing resistance and inductance in series. This is a resistor R and this is a inductor L. The unit of resistance is ohm. The unit of inductance is Henry. Let voltage drop across this resistor is VR and voltage drop across this inductor is VL. The current flowing through this circuit is I. So the current is same in resistor and inductor. Now VR is equal to I into R. According to Ohm's law, voltage is equal to current into resistance. Also, VL is equal to I into XL, where this XL is the inductive reactance. XL is equal to omega L. This omega is the angular frequency and omega is equal to 2 pi f. For pure resistor, IR is in phase with VR. The current and voltage are in phase. For pure inductor, voltage lead current by 90 degree. Here we can see that the voltage VL is leading the current IL by 90 degree. Now taking current as a reference, because the current is same in both resistor and inductor. So we are taking current as a reference. Here we can see in this phasor diagram, this current is taken as the reference. Now this current and this voltage VR is in phase. Here this VL is leading this current I by 90 degree. This is the applied voltage V. In case of DC circuit, according to KVL, V is equal to VR plus VL. But since this is a AC circuit, so applied voltage will be the phasor addition of VR and VL. Now from this phasor diagram, the voltage triangle can be drawn as this is a VR. This is a VR and VR is equal to I into R. Now this, let's say this is A and let's say this is B. This is C and this is D. So AB is equal to CD. So here we can replace this line by VL. So here this is VL and VL is equal to I into XL. And this is a V. This applied voltage V is equal to I into Z. This Z is the impedance. V is equal to VR plus VL. This is a phasor addition. Since this is a AC circuit. Now from voltage triangle, from this voltage triangle, if we apply Pythagoras theorem, then V is equal to VR square plus VL square. This V is equal to, this is a hypotenuse, so this square is equal to VL square plus VR square. So from this V is equal to under root of VR square plus VL square. V is equal to, this VR is I into R square plus this VL is I into XL, so whole square. Now if we take the I common, then we can take the I square common. So here this I square is taken as common. Now if we take this I square out of this under root, so this will be I. So V is equal to I into under root of R square plus XL square. Now from this I is equal to V by under root of R square plus XL square. From this I is equal to V by Z, where this Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL square, where Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL square. This Z is the impedance. Its unit is ohm. This impedance is the opposition of circuit to the flow of alternating current. In case of DC, there is a resistance R, but in case of AC, it will be impedance Z. Now we will see phase relationship between voltage and current. Current lags behind the applied voltage by an angle phi. So this is a angle phi. We can see that this applied voltage is leading, or we can say that this current is lagging this applied voltage by angle phi. V leads I by phi, or I lags V by angle phi. Now here we can see this is a right angle triangle. So this will be hypotenuse and this will be adjacent side and this will be opposite side to this angle. Also we are taking this I as the reference again. Now according to the formula for tan phi is equal to opposite side. This opposite side is VL divided by adjacent side. This adjacent side is VR. So tan phi is equal to VL by VR is equal to, now this VL is equal to I into XL and this VR is equal to I into R. This I and this I will get cancelled. So tan phi is equal to XL by R. Now for cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So is equal to adjacent side is VR, this VR, and hypotenuse is applied voltage, this applied voltage V. Now VR is equal to I into R and applied voltage V is equal to I into Z. This I and this I will get cancelled. So cos phi is equal to R by Z. Now from this also we can say that this VR is equal to V into cos phi. So here VR is equal to V into cos phi. Also we can say that V is equal to Vm sin omega t, where omega is the angular frequency and this Vm is the peak amplitude. Same for current. I is equal to Im sin omega t minus phi. This phi is the phase shift. Here we can see that this is a voltage and this is a current. Now this is a phase shift phi. Power factor is equal to cos phi lagging. In case of inductive circuit, the power factor is lagging. Here we can see this is a impedance triangle. This is Z or impedance, this is inductive reactance and this is resistance R. So if this is a right angle triangle, so this will be hypotenuse, this is opposite side to angle and this is base or adjacent side. Now using Pythagoras theorem, AC square, this AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So Z square is equal to XL square plus R square. Now this Z is equal to under root of XL square plus R square. This Z is the impedance and this XL is the inductive reactance, this R is the resistance. Also sin phi is equal to opposite side upon hypotenuse. Now opposite side is XL. Here we can see the opposite side is XL and hypotenuse is this Z. So this will be the formula for sin phi is equal to XL by Z. Now cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So adjacent side is R by Z. For tan phi is equal to opposite side upon adjacent. So XL by Z. Now impedance in rectangular form is Z is equal to R plus JXL. Power is equal to average power taken by resistance plus average power taken by inductance. But average power taken by a pure inductor over a complete cycle is always 0. Hence, inductance L in circuit consumes no power. So this will be 0. So power is equal to average power taken by resistance only. So power is equal to average power taken by resistance. P is equal to I square R. Average power taken by resistance is I square R. Now if we separate this, so this will be P is equal to IR into I. Now we can replace this I into R by VR. This VR is the voltage drop across this resistor R. So power is equal to VR into I. Since VR is equal to V cos phi, here we can see that VR is equal to V into cos phi. From this formula, cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse VR by V. So from this we can say VR is equal to V into cos phi. We will substitute this value here. VR is equal to V into cos phi. Now power is equal to V into cos phi. Power is equal to V into cos phi I. This I as it is, we will replace this VR by V into cos phi. Now this V into I into cos phi is equal to power. Now this V and I are the RMS values. Now we will see power triangle. So this is a apparent power. Apparent power is denoted by S. This is a phase angle phi and this is a reactive power. Reactive power is denoted by Q. True power is also called as real power or active power. So real power or reactive power or true power is denoted by P. So S is equal to V into I. P is equal to, or true power is equal to, Vi cos phi. This is the Vi cos phi is the true power. And reactive power is Q is equal to Vi sin phi. The unit of apparent power is kVA. The unit of reactive power is kVAR. And the unit of true power is kW. Now, if we take this as a right angle triangle, then this will be hypotenuse, this will be adjacent side and this will be opposite side. So according to Pythagoras theorem, this hypotenuse square, that is S square, is equal to P square, this P square plus this Q square. So here we can see that S square is equal to P square plus Q square. So this is called as power triangle. Now apparent power is denoted by S. The product of RMS values of voltage and current is called apparent power. It is denoted by S. Its unit is volt ampere, or in short VA, or kilovolt amperes, in short kVA. So S is equal to V into I. Then true power or active power or real power, it is denoted by P. It is defined as the product of applied voltage and active component of current. Now active component of current is I into cos phi. It is measured in watts, or in short capital W, or kilowatts. So in short, this small k and this capital W. So the formula for true power or real power or active power is P is equal to V into I cos phi, where this V is the applied voltage and this is the active component of current. Then reactive power. Reactive power is denoted by capital Q. It is defined as the product of applied voltage V and the reactive component I sin phi. Its unit is volt ampere reactive, in short VAR, or kilovolt ampere reactive kVAR. The formula for reactive power is Q is equal to Vi sin phi. Power factor. Power factor is cos phi. Power factor is the ratio of the true power to the apparent power. It is the cosine of the angle between voltage and current. Ideally in AC circuits, the phase difference between voltage and current is 0. But practically there exists some phase difference between the two. The cosine of the phase difference between the two is defined as the power factor. High power factor indicates power is effectively used. Low power factor indicates power is not effectively used and results in losses. In case of DC circuit, no power factor because zero frequency is there. And in case of AC circuit, value of power factor lies between 0 and 1. The formula for power factor is equal to true power divided by apparent power. True power is the VI cos phi and apparent power is VI. Now this VI and this VI will get cancelled. So power factor is equal to cos phi. Now this is a impedance triangle. This will be Z or impedance. This will be inductive reactance XL and this will be resistance R. Now if we take this as a right angle triangle, then this will be hypotenuse, this will be opposite side to angle and this will be base or adjacent side. Now cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So here the adjacent side is R and hypotenuse is Z. So power factor cos phi is equal to R by Z. The power factor is leading or lagging or unity is decided by the lead or lag or in phase of the current with respect to the voltage. In case of lagging power factor, current lags behind voltage. Here we can see current lags behind voltage. So here this is a phi, this is voltage and this is current. Current is lagging behind voltage. Here we can see current is lagging. We have to take the voltage as the reference here. So this circuit will be inductive. Loads such as inductors, transformers, electromagnetic relays, induction motors, coils, motors and lamps are inductive circuits, and in this case the power factor will be lagging. Now in case of leading power factor, current lead voltage. Here we can see this is a voltage and this is a current. So current is leading the voltage. Here also we can see that the current is leading. So in case of leading power factor or in case of capacitive circuit, the power factor is leading. Loads such as capacitor banks, overexcited, synchronous motor, synchronous condensers, radio circuits, etc. are the capacitive circuit. So in this case, the power factor is leading. Now unity power factor. Here we can see current and voltage are in phase. So phi is equal to 0. Here also we can see that the current and voltage are in phase. So the circuit is purely resistive. In case of purely resistive circuit, the power factor is unity. Circuit with resistance and capacitance in series. Here we can see that this is a AC circuit containing resistance and capacitance in series. Let VR is the voltage drop across this resistor R and VC is the voltage drop across this capacitor C, and this current I is the current flowing through this circuit. This is a AC supply and this V is the applied voltage. Now VR is equal to I into R. According to Ohm's law, voltage is equal to current into resistance. Also VC is equal to I into XC, where this XC is the capacitive reactance. Also this XC is equal to 1 by omega C. This omega is the angular frequency. This is a phasor diagram. This is a current as a reference. Now this VR is the voltage drop across resistance R. So VR and I are in phase. This is a VC, voltage drop across capacitor C. So this VC is lagging this current I. This V is the resultant voltage. This is a phi in clockwise direction. Now from this phasor diagram we can draw voltage triangle. So this will be equal to this will be equal to this value. So here this will be VC. This line will be VC. Remaining as it is, this is V. So V is equal to IZ. This will be VC. VC is equal to I into XC. And this is VR. So VR as it is, VR is equal to I into R. Now this is a right angle triangle. So this will be hypotenuse. This will be opposite side of this angle phi. and this will be adjacent side to this angle phi. Now XC will be taken as negative since the direction of this XC is in this downward direction to this axis Y. So this will be taken as negative. This is a waveform. As we can see that this current I is leading and this voltage is lagging. Now if we apply Pythagoras theorem to this voltage triangle, then V square is equal to VR square plus VC square. Hypotenuse square is equal to adjacent side square plus opposite side square. So here this will be V square is equal to VR square plus VC square. From this V is equal to under root of VR square plus VC square. Now if we take the values of this, so this will be I into R, VR is equal to I into R, and VC is equal to I into XC. From this we can take I square common, so V is equal to under root of I square in bracket R square plus XC square. Now we can take this I square outside of this under root, so this will be V is equal to I into under root of R square plus XC square. Now from this the value of I will be I is equal to V by under root of R square plus XC square. Now this will be impedance Z. So I is equal to V by Z, where Z is equal to under root of R square plus XC square. This Z is the impedance, its unit is ohm. This R is the resistance and this XC is the capacitive reactance. Now this is the impedance triangle. Impedance triangle is obtained by dividing each side of the voltage triangle by I. So here in this voltage triangle, if we divide this by I, so this will be R. If we divide this by I, so this will be XC, and if we divide this by I, so this will be Z. So we have to divide all the side by I, so we get R, XC and Z. So this will be our impedance triangle. So this is a impedance triangle R, XC and Z. Now tan phi is equal to opposite side upon adjacent side. So this will be opposite side is minus VC. Here we can see that opposite side is this minus VC. This minus VC. So this VC is in the downward direction. So this will be taken as minus. So this will be minus. The direction of angle phi is clockwise. Also we can say that the direction of this phi is clockwise direction like this. So that's why this VC is taken as minus. So minus VC by VR. Adjacent side is VR. Now VC is equal to I into XC. So minus I into XC divided by VR is equal to I into R. This I and this I will get cancelled. So tan phi is equal to minus XC by R. Tan phi is equal to minus XC by R. This XC is the capacitive reactance. Now cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So adjacent side is here we can see that adjacent side is VR. Divided by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is applied voltage V. So VR is equal to I into R and V is equal to I into Z. This I and this I will get cancelled. So cos phi is equal to R by Z. Cos phi is equal to R by Z. Now from this also we can say that VR is equal to V into cos phi. This VR voltage drop across resistor R, VR is equal to V into cos phi. Voltage and current in circuit can be represented by V is equal to Vm sin omega t, I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. In case of inductive circuit, we have seen that this is negative. but in case of capacitive circuit, this will be positive. This phi is the phase angle between applied voltage and current. Power is equal to average power taken by resistance plus average power taken by capacitance. But average power taken by pure capacitance over a complete cycle is 0. So power is equal to only average power taken by resistance. P is equal to I square R. Now if we separate this, so this will be P is equal to IR into I. So P is equal to VR. We can replace this IR by VR. VR into I. Now this VR can be replaced by V into cos phi. So V into cos phi into I. So this will be power is equal to VI cos phi watts. The unit of power is watt. Cos phi is power factor of circuit. Circuit with resistance, inductance and capacitance in series. Here we can see this is a RLC series circuit. This is a resistor, this is inductor and this is capacitor. VR is the voltage drop across this resistor. VL is the voltage drop across this inductor. And VC is the voltage drop across this capacitor. The unit of resistance is ohm, the unit of inductance is Henry and the unit of capacitance is farad. The current flowing through this circuit is I. Now VR is equal to I into R. According to Ohm's law, voltage is equal to current into resistance. Now VL is equal to I into XL. VC is equal to I into XC. This XL is the inductive reactance, XC is the capacitive reactance. XL is equal to omega L and XC is equal to 1 upon omega C. This omega is the angular frequency. Now there will be three possible conditions. Either XL is greater than XC or XL is less than XC or XL is equal to XC. Now when XL is greater than XC, the overall behavior of the circuit is similar to RL series circuit. Now when XL is greater than XC, that time voltage drop across inductor is greater than voltage drop across capacitor. Here we can see that when XL is greater, then this VL will be greater. This is the phasor diagram for XL is greater than XC. Here we can see this is a I, current as a reference. Now VR is the voltage drop across resistor R. So this will be in phase. And VL is greater and VC is smaller. So this will be VL minus VC. Now its resultant will be in leading. So this applied voltage V is leading the current I by angle phi. Now from this phasor diagram we can draw voltage triangle. So this will be V as it is. This will be angle phi, so phi as it is. Now this will be equal to this value. So this is VL minus VC. So we have taken VL minus VC because VL is greater than VC. So VL minus VC. Now this is VR. So VR as it is. So this will be our voltage triangle. Now applied voltage is equal to, this will be the phasor addition. So V is equal to VR plus VL plus VC. Now if we apply, this is a right angle triangle. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem here. This will be hypotenuse. This will be opposite side of triangle, opposite side of this angle, and this will be adjacent side. So hypotenuse square, that is V square, is equal to VR square plus VL minus VC square. So V square is equal to VR square plus VL minus VC whole square. So V is equal to under root of VR square plus VL minus VC whole square. Now we can take I square common. Now when we take I square common, we can take the I outside of this under root. So this will be V is equal to I into under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Now from this, the value of I will be I is equal to V divided by under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Now this will be impedance Z. So I is equal to V by Z, where Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Now X is positive in case of XL greater than XC. X is positive and circuit is inductive. Now second condition, when XL is less than XC. Now when XL is less than XC, that time overall behavior of the circuit is similar to RC series circuit. Now since XL is less than XC, so voltage drop across inductor will be less than voltage drop across capacitor. This is the phasor diagram for XL less than XC. Now we have taken this current I as the reference. Now this VL is smaller as compared to VC. So this will be VC minus VL, and this will be phase angle phi. So the resultant voltage will be like this. It is lagging this current I. Now from this we can draw voltage triangle. So this value will be equal to VC minus VL. This value will be equal to this value. So here we can see this is VR. So VR as it is. This is applied voltage V. So this V as it is, and this will be VC minus VL. Now if we apply Pythagoras theorem here, so this will be hypotenuse. So hypotenuse square is equal to VR square plus VC minus VL square. So V square is equal to VR square plus VC minus VL whole square. So V is equal to under root of VR square plus VC minus VL whole square. So V is equal to under root of this VR can be replaced by I into R. So I into R whole square. Then this will be IXC, and this will be I into XL. We can take again I square common. Then if we simplify this, so this will be V is equal to I under root of R square plus XL minus XC minus XL whole square. So from this I is equal to V divided by R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Now this will be impedance Z. So I is equal to V by Z, where Z is equal to under root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So this Z is the impedance. Now in case of XL less than XC, X is negative and circuit is capacitive. Now third condition, when XL is equal to XC. Now when XL is equal to XC, so this XL VL is equal to VC. We can say voltage drop across inductor is equal to voltage drop across capacitor. Now this VR will be in phase with this current and resultant is 0. So V is equal to VR. Now V is equal to VR is I into R. So from this I is equal to V by R. VL and VC cancel each other and the resultant is 0. Now here when XL is equal to XC, that time X is 0 and circuit is purely resistive. In general, for RLC series circuit, impedance is given by Z is equal to R plus JX and X is equal to XL minus XC is equal to total reactance of circuit. So here we can see when XL is equal to XC, that time X is 0 and circuit is purely resistive. And when XL is less than XC, that time X is negative and circuit is capacitive. Now when XL is greater than XC, that time X is positive and circuit is inductive. AC parallel circuits. The circuit in which two or more branches are connected in parallel such that the voltage across them is same are called parallel circuit. Or when two or more series circuits connected to a common source of supply, parallel circuits are formed. The parallel branches may include a single element or a combination of elements in series. Now in case of parallel circuit, the branches will have same voltage across them. Methods for solving AC parallel circuits are: number 1, phasor or vector method, number 2, admittance method, and number 3, using vector algebra, symbolic method or J operator method. Here is an example of parallel circuit. This R and this L connected in series. So this is branch 1. This R and this C connected in series. So this is second branch. This R, L, C form third branch. So these three branches are connected in parallel. If this is a AC circuit, then AC supply is given to this circuit. RL parallel circuit. This is a RL parallel circuit. The resistor and inductor are connected in parallel. This V phasor is the supply voltage. I phasor is the total current flowing through this circuit. IL phasor is the current flowing through the inductor, and IR phasor is the current flowing through the resistor. Let voltage across this inductor is VL and voltage across this resistor is VR. Now since the inductor and resistor are connected in parallel, so voltage across them will be same. So V is equal to VR is equal to VL. This inductor and resistor will have impedance Z. Now if we apply KCL at this node, so I phasor is equal to IR phasor plus IL phasor. Also according to Ohm's law, V phasor is equal to I phasor into impedance Z. Now from this equation, I phasor is equal to V phasor divided by Z. Now if we replace this I phasor by this value, so this will be V phasor divided by Z is equal to IR phasor plus IL phasor. Now this IR phasor is equal to V phasor divided by R, and this IL phasor is equal to V phasor divided by JXL. This 1 by J represent lagging. Now we can take V phasor common from here. So this V phasor and this V phasor will get cancelled. So what's remain? 1 by Z is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by JXL. The reciprocal of impedance is admittance and it is represented by capital Y. The unit of admittance is Siemens. The reciprocal of resistance is conductance and conductance is represented by capital G. Then the reciprocal of reactance is susceptance. Here the reactance is inductive reactance. So 1 upon XL is equal to BL. BL is the inductive susceptance. So here we can write BL. Now this 1 by J is equal to minus J. So here we can replace this 1 by J by minus J. Now Y is equal to G minus JBL. This is a equation in rectangular form. Now phasor diagram. Since the voltage across inductor and resistor is same, so we can take voltage as a reference. The IR will be in phase with this voltage, and this IL will lag the current. This IL will lag the voltage by 90 degree. So this IL is lagging voltage by 90 degree. So the resultant of this IL and this IR will be this current I phasor. Now AB is equal to CD. So we can replace this line by IL. So this will be IL. Now from phasor diagram, we can draw current triangle. In case of current triangle, the values of all sides of triangle will be in current form. So this will be current flowing through the resistor, this will be current flowing through the inductor, and this will be total current. Now if we apply Pythagoras theorem to this right angle triangle, then hypotenuse square is equal to opposite side square plus adjacent side square. So here this will be I square is equal to IR square plus IL square. So from this I is equal to under root of IR square plus IL square. Now according to the formula of trigonometry, tan phi is equal to opposite side upon adjacent side. So this is the opposite side and this is the adjacent side. So opposite side is IL. This IL, the direction of this IL is in y axis in downward direction. So that's why this will be minus. Adjacent side is IR. So this is IR. So therefore tan phi is equal to minus IL by IR. Also power factor is equal to cos phi, and this will be lagging, and cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So adjacent side is IR and hypotenuse is this I. So therefore cos phi is equal to IR divided by I. Now if we divide all the sides of this current triangle by applied voltage V, so this will be a admittance triangle. So this will be conductance G, this will be inductive susceptance BL, and this will be admittance Y. Now again this is a right angle triangle. So using Pythagoras theorem, y square is equal to G square plus BL square. So from this y is equal to under root of G square plus BL square. Now again tan phi is equal to opposite upon adjacent. So here opposite is BL. Again this BL or inductive susceptance is in the direction of y axis in downward direction. So this will be minus. So here minus divided by adjacent side. So adjacent side is G, that is conductance. So therefore tan phi is equal to minus BL by G. Now power factor. Power factor is equal to cos phi, and cos phi is equal to adjacent upon hypotenuse. So here adjacent is G and hypotenuse is Y. So therefore cos phi is equal to G by Y. Now power triangle. So this is a power triangle. This S represent apparent power, this P represent true power or real power or active power, this QL represent reactive power, this L represent inductive reactive power. Now again we can apply Pythagoras theorem here. So S square is equal to P square plus QL square. Now from this S is equal to under root of P square plus QL square. Then tan phi is equal to minus QL divided by P. Tan phi is equal to opposite upon adjacent. So opposite side is this QL and adjacent side is this P. Again the direction of this QL is in y-axis direction, in downward direction. So this will be minus. And power factor cos phi is equal to adjacent upon hypotenuse. So adjacent is this active power or real power divided by apparent power. So cos phi is equal to P by S. RC parallel circuit. This is a RC parallel circuit. Now if we apply KCL at this node, so I phasor is equal to IR phasor plus IC phasor. Now since this resistor and capacitor are connected in parallel, so voltage across them will be same. Also together this resistor and capacitor will have impedance Z. Now from this equation we can say that I is equal to V by Z. IR is equal to VR by R, but VR is equal to VC is equal to V. So here we can write V divided by R plus IC is VC divided by minus JXC. So here in place of VC we can write V divided by minus JXC, where XC is the capacitive reactance and this 1 by minus J represent the current is leading in capacitor. Now if we take this V common from here and here, so this V and this V will get cancelled. So what's remain? Here 1 by Z and here 1 by R and here 1 by minus JXC. Now 1 by Z, that is reciprocal of impedance is admittance and reciprocal of resistance is conductance and reciprocal of this 1 by J is plus J and this 1 by XC is susceptance, capacitive susceptance. It is represented by BC. Now phasor diagram, we will take voltage as a reference because voltage is same in resistance and capacitance. Now this IR will be in phase with voltage and this IC will be leading the voltage by 90 degree. Now resultant of this IC and IR will be this I phasor. Now from this phasor diagram we can say that IB is equal to CD. So we can replace this CD by AB. From this phasor diagram we can draw current triangle, admittance triangle and power triangle. So here current triangle will be, this will be I phasor as it is and we have replaced this line by IC and this will be IR. Now if we apply Pythagoras theorem to this right angle triangle, this is a right angle triangle. So hypotenuse square is equal to adjacent side square plus opposite side square. So this will be I square is equal to IR square plus IC square. Here we can see, and from this equation I is equal to under root of IR square plus IC square. Now cos phi is equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse. So here adjacent side is IR and hypotenuse is this I phasor. So cos phi is equal to IR by I. Now this cos phi is the power factor and power factor will be leading because of the capacitor. Then tan phi is equal to opposite upon adjacent. So here opposite is IC and adjacent is IR. So tan phi is equal to IC divided by IR. Now from this current triangle we can draw admittance triangle. If we divide all the side of this current triangle by voltage V, then what's remain? 1 by Z and here 1 by XC and here 1 by R. So 1 by Z is again admittance and capacitive susceptance and conductance. So again this is a right angle triangle. So y square is equal to g square plus bc square using Pythagoras theorem. Therefore y is equal to under root of g square plus bc square. Then power factor cos phi is equal to, again cos phi is adjacent upon hypotenuse. So here adjacent side is g and hypotenuse is y. So g by y, cos phi is equal to g by y, and this cos phi will be again leading because of the capacitor, and tan phi is equal to opposite upon adjacent. So opposite side is BC and adjacent side is G. So tan phi is equal to BC divided by G. Now again this is a power triangle. So this will be apparent power S, this is true power P, and this is reactive power QC because of capacitor. Now again using Pythagoras theorem, S square is equal to P square plus QC square. So from this S is equal to under root of P square plus QC square. Then cos phi is equal to again adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So adjacent side is P and hypotenuse is this S. So cos phi is equal to P by S, and tan phi is equal to opposite side, that is QC, divided by adjacent side. Adjacent side is P. Concept of admittance. Admittance is a measure of how easily a circuit or device will allow a current to flow. Admittance is denoted by capital Y. The unit of admittance is Siemens. It is represented by capital S. Admittance is equal to 1 upon Z, or the reciprocal of impedance is called admittance. The unit of impedance is ohm. So also we can say the unit of admittance is mho or ohm inverse. Admittance is a vector quantity. Admittance is the vector sum of conductance and susceptance. Y is equal to G minus JBL. Admittance is equal to conductance minus J inductive susceptance. This BL is the inductive susceptance. When the net susceptance is inductive, that time Y is equal to G minus JBL. And when the net susceptance is capacitive, that time admittance Y is equal to conductance plus JBC. This BC is the capacitive susceptance. G, that is conductance observed in both AC and DC. This G is the conductance. Its unit is Siemens. It's a positive real number. The reciprocal of resistance is conductance. G is equal to 1 by R. Susceptance. Susceptance is capital B. It is observed in AC only. Its unit is Siemens. It's an imaginary number. The reciprocal of reactance is susceptance. So B is equal to 1 by X. Practical importance of power factor. We know that in AC circuit, P is equal to VI cos phi, where this P is the power, V is the voltage, I is the current, and this cos phi is the power factor. Now from this, I is equal to P by V cos phi. Here we can see that this cos phi is the power factor. The more the current, the low the power factor, or we can say the lower the power factor, more the current. Now here low power factor will increase power loss, and for lower power factor, cost of generation and transmission will be more. Any system which has a power factor close to 1 considered as good. The power factor lies between 0 and 1. So the power factor close to 1 is considered as good system. Power factor is the ratio of useful power to total power. The useful power should be high and the total power will be always greater than useful power. kW, kilowatt, divided by kVA. Power factor is equal to kW divided by kVA is equal to cos phi. So this is a power triangle. This is useful power, this is reactive power, and this is total power. Concept of initial and final conditions in switching circuits. This arrow represent switch is going to close, and this arrow represent switch is going to open, and this t is equal to 0 represent switch is going to close at t is equal to 0. Now it is assumed that closing or opening of switch take place instantaneously. t is equal to 0 represent initial condition and t is equal to infinite represent final condition or steady state condition. T of 0 minus is an instant just before changing switch and T of 0 plus is an instant just after changing switch. T is greater than 0 all instant after switching. For resistor does not store energy and according to Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. This is a linear and time independent equation. So in case of initial condition, the resistance will be as it is, and in case of t is equal to 0 plus, this resistance will be as it is, and also in case of t is equal to infinite, this resistance will be as it is. But in case of inductor, current cannot change instantaneously, so I of 0 minus is equal to I of 0 plus. I of 0 minus is before switching and I of 0 plus is after switching. This is a current before switching and this is a current after switching. Let VL is the voltage across this inductor. So VL is equal to L di by dt. This di by dt represent change in current with respect to time. Now if no initial current is passing through inductor, then initial condition will be like this, and in case of t is equal to 0 plus, that is the switch is closed, so it will act as a open circuit because VL is equal to infinite. This VL will be infinite. Since the t is equal to 0, so this will be VL is equal to infinite. So this VL is infinite, that time this inductor will be open circuited. And when t is equal to infinite, that is this t is infinite, that time this VL will be 0. VL is 0 means this will be short circuited. If initial current is passing through inductor, that is this IO is passing through the inductor initially, then at t is equal to 0 plus, the same current will pass through the inductor, and at t is equal to infinite, same current will pass through inductor and it is in parallel with short circuit. Now for capacitor, voltage cannot change instantaneously. For capacitor, voltage cannot change instantaneously. Let voltage across this capacitor is Vc. Now voltage before switching is equal to voltage after switching. Vc of 0 minus is equal to Vc of 0 plus. Also Ic, this Ic is equal to C dV by dt. This dV by dt is the change in voltage with respect to time. Now capacitor without initial voltage. So initial condition will be like this, and at t is equal to 0 plus, that is the switch is closed, then that time the capacitor will act like short circuit, because if we substitute t is equal to 0, that means the current will be, this IC will be infinite, and infinite IC is infinite, that is this capacitor is short circuit. And when we substitute t is equal to infinite, so this t is equal to infinite, that time IC will be 0, and IC is 0, that means the capacitor is open circuit. Now when capacitor with initial voltage VO, now at t is equal to 0 plus, same voltage will be there across capacitor, and at t is equal to infinite, it will be VO and in series with open circuit. So at t is equal to infinite, it will behave like this, VO in series with open circuit.